Okay, today we're gonna discuss why I picked the Canon 60D. It's recording right now. I wish I could show you. I'll do some B-roll of it now. The first reason is price. I was given a budget of 80,000 Pakistani rupees, which I'll do the conversion and put it up here. That was for everything. So lenses, tripod, memory card, everything. I want to keep more budget for lenses because those are what contribute more towards image quality. That meant that not a lot of budget was left for the camera itself. So because it's 10 years old and my main focus was on photography, it was a pretty compelling option. I picked it up for about 60,000 with an 18 to 55 lens, but I'm pretty sure you can pick it up for much less, like 45, 50. The only reason I paid that much was because I got this in pristine condition, and because I plan to use this for many, many years. That was kind of important. Okay, the second reason is image quality. Uh, it's 10 years old, yes, but it has superb image quality, especially if you give it enough light. 18 megapixels are more than enough, and the CR2 raw files that it takes are super robust. You can recover highlights like crazy. Even if you overexpose, you can recover the photo. Shadows, you can recover them a fair bit, but they do get a little noisy. Speaking about noise, it doesn't have the best image quality at really high ISOs. Like 32,000, I think you can get away with 3200, but 6400, I think that's like, I kind of, in some situations, if you really, really need to get the shot, 6400 you can do that, but 12,800, no, that the image is really, really grainy, really, really noisy at that ISO. And the next and most important reason is that you can find Canon lenses for really cheap, secondhand, and they're brilliant. They have like really, really good image quality, and they're Canon lenses. What can I say? They're awesome. You can find them for like really cheap. The market is like completely flooded with them, so you won't have any problem like looking for them. I found great 50mm lenses, both like really, really old vintage ones and new ones like their STM ones. And the EF mount is so versatile. Canon lenses also tend to be a little cheaper than Nikon lenses. I've seen about 20-30% cheaper, just because Nikon lenses are a bit more rare. Sigma and Tamron also used to make lenses for Canon's EF mount, and again, those are a lot cheaper. They're also really, really good. They have a really good image quality. The next reason is autofocus. So DSLRs don't really have the best autofocus compared to like mirrorless, because like mirrorless have like eye tracking, face detection, and all that kind of stuff. But this, when you're using the viewfinder, this has 9 cross-type autofocus points, which isn't a lot, but you can definitely get stuff done with that, and they're all cross-type, meaning they'll work really well in whether you're shooting in portrait orientation or landscape orientation. I've used it to track subjects a few times that are running towards the camera, and it's nailed focus like pretty much most of the time, like 80% of the time. Another reason is, this is not a major reason, but it's Canon's menu system. It's so well laid out and intuitive. You can get to any setting you want within just like 2 clicks. And this camera doesn't have a touchscreen, but you really don't need it because the menu is so easy to like navigate. Another reason, it has a tilt screen that can also flip out, and that's really useful when you're taking photos like really low to the ground or from like really high angles. It's also great for like recording videos, like I am right now. But everything isn't perfect with this camera. Obviously, there are some cons, but to me they weren't that important because I'm more of a photographer. I take photos. These cons are mostly related to video. Starting with autofocus, or lack thereof. It has no autofocus in video mode at all, which is kind of peculiar because like Nikon had autofocus at that time for video, but whatever. It has zero autofocus for video. That's not a deal breaker for some filmmakers because they prefer manual focus because it's more reliable and can be more accurate. And in the same breath, it doesn't have great live view autofocus. It does have autofocus in live view. It's like really, really slow, and it's just a pain to work with. It's not really accurate. Sometimes it just fails, and it can't pull focus. You have to like to turn on manual focus and focus of yourself, which defeats the entire purpose of it existing. But to combat that, it does have this feature called Quick AF, which uses the actual autofocus points in the autofocus system to focus. But that does mean that the mirror has to be flipped down, which means you can't see anything on the screen. Half a second and then it's back and it's like fully in focus. So that's pretty good. And yeah, there you have it. That's why I chose the Canon 60D. It's a great camera. It takes phenomenal photos like these and these. And it's really great, especially for the price. And like you can pick it up for like really cheap nowadays. If you're not doing fast action, if you're not doing anything in low light, I think it's a really good camera and you should consider it. But it's not great for video because it doesn't have autofocus. It's not great for vlogging. It is a bit bulky and a bit heavy, but that's not really that big of an issue. I think that'll be it. I think that'll be everything. Cool.